Hello, everyone. It's Sunday once again. It's Sunday evening here in the UK. It's just gone 10 minutes past 7 in the UK. I do apologize that we're a bit late. With modern technology, sometimes you can't get it right first time around. So you have to sort of like work at it. But anyway, so it's 10 past 2 in the morning in Manila. Uh, and it's Monday morning. Maybe some of you are already up, or maybe some of you still just came back from maybe having a good time last night. But hopefully, some of you are still sort of like joining us live here on Ask the Drummer. It's a brand new week for you out there, but we've still got a few hours before we reach Monday. So this week's guest, I was actually in Glossop last night, and I saw his band and they're absolutely amazing. And I'm glad that he said yes to guesting on Ask the Drummer. Also, in Glossop last night, there's a band called Echoes of the Bunnyman. If you haven't heard of them, they do Echo and the Bunnyman songs, and they're amazing. So do check them out and see them. But today, we're not having the drummer of Echoes of the Bunnyman. We're going to be chatting to the drummer of the band who opened for them last night. The band is called Gdansk81, and the drummer is here now. So, my dear friends, please welcome Martin Plant. Yay!
Love it to be here.
Yeah, hello. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I've just got back about half an hour ago from watching a band up in Mossley called Entropy, who were really good. We were playing at the Rising Sun there. So I'm a bit like you, and I like to be at a gig every day if I can.
Yeah, but I hope you're not too tired from doing the gig last night and then going to the gig.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, Dan, but it was unbearably hot in the room at the Globe. I mean, I have never been so warm on stage in my life, and you could have literally wrung me out after the gig. I was that sweaty; it was unbelievable. But I enjoyed it. It was brilliant all the same. I only played for a short set. The guy from Echoes of the Bunnymen, he played an hour and a half. How he didn't expire in that heat is beyond me. So yeah, it's a fantastic gig all the same. It was a lovely group of people. The room was full, which obviously contributed it to being so hot, wasn't it?
So hot, yeah, that's right. I mean, it was awesome. I really enjoyed the gig last night as well. I mean, I can't remember whether I've actually been there. I know where the Globe was, but I didn't realize it's a bit far from the station. I thought it was only like a short distance from the station, so maybe I haven't been there. But anyways, it's really, it's amazing. And I'm glad that you said yes to Ask the Drummer, because I know that I've only seen you a few weeks ago, again, supporting Echoes of the Bunnymen at the Cavern Club. So thank you so much. And Aidan O'Rourke, who's my tech support on Ask the Drummer, he said that sound and vision good. So from earlier on when we were having problems with technical problems with the sound, he said now that it's okay. So that's brilliant. Right. So anyway, so welcome to Ask the Drummer. Episode 177 is all about you, Martin Plant. I asked you earlier before we came on live that you're born and bred in Manchester, right?
I am, yes. Yeah, I was actually born in. I actually grew up in Staleybridge, which is on the east side of Manchester, but I'm very much a Mancunian in my soul.
Yeah. Well, a few days ago, I was at Selfridges because Peter Hook was talking about the impact of Manchester music. Like all over the world. I mean, there's another member there, another one who's talking about the impact of Manchester music to her. She's Canadian. She's a Canadian musician. And you can tell that she loves Manchester music as well. What was it like what was your Manchester like when you were growing up?
Well, actually, I mean, so I went to school in the centre of Manchester, a place called Severian, which is in Rushow, and I was there from 1974 to 81. I was there, and Manchester, I think Manchester now is a much more welcoming. Despite what's the problems in Manchester City Centre and Piccadilly Gardens, actually Manchester itself is a much more welcoming place now than it was then. In parts of Ancoats, I wouldn't have gone after 5 o'clock in the evening. Parts of Moss Side, Hume, etc. At the time that I was growing up, were a little bit scary, and the city itself was dirty. I mean, it was. A lot of the buildings were still black at that time. It's gone through a real transformation. But in 1977, when punk broke, 76, 77, when punk broke, I was 14, it was the most amazing cataclysmic experience. And of course, it spawned a lot of really fantastic Manchester bands. So, obviously, Joy Division, the Buzzcocks, Drones, Crispy Ambulance, which was the band that Mick Hucknall had before he had Simply Red. It was just seemed like it, and there were so many places to go and see bands at that time as well. The Boardwalk famously brought a lot of bands through, Oasis being one of them latterly. And I played in a lot of those venues. I was in a band called the Sandmen from about 88 to about 91, and I had a fantastic time playing with them, supporting The Fall, in Spiral Carpets. So Manchester was absolutely buzzing. We sometimes go down to New Hormones, which was the HQ of the Buzzcocks at the time. If you were lucky, you get a free badge or something if you went in. You just go in begging for a badge, basically. And then, there was fantastic record shops. There was a real scene and a real sort of vibrancy around it all. While Manchester itself was pretty grim, and I think I've heard Peter Hook say the same about, the place at that time. There was a kind of despair underpinning it all. The vibrant music scene rose out of, and then as New Wave came along, New Order came out of Joy Division, the Smiths were on the scene, Magazine, all sorts of amazing bands that were just inspiring. And of course, I wasn't one of the people who claimed to be at the Free Trade Hall Sex Pistols in 19. I'm one of the few people in Manchester that apparently wasn't there. Because from what I've heard, about 120,000 people were at that gig. But somebody was there, told me there was about 13 people. So there are some brilliant myths around Manchester, around the music and the scene. And one of the people we had at the time was a guy called Tony Wilson, who worked for Granada TV. He let the Sandmen appear on the other side of midnight. We had one television appearance. He was a really instrumental driver in terms of supporting and bringing Manchester music forward. And then we had the Happy Mondays and all that kind of thing. So what an amazing place to be, and what a time to be in Manchester. And a lot of the Manchester scene, when Acid House came, the Hacienda. I mean, people were buzzing up from London to go to the Hacienda, you know what I mean? So what a time to be alive in Manchester, and what a city to be in terms of its culture, its sport, its music. Fantastic. So what else could I be but be in a band?
And you were actually in the thick of it at the time, when it was like that. But the one thing you said is you went to Severian, and my daughter and Aiden, my husband, they also went to Severian College. But I think my husband is sort of like before your time, I think, because he's a lot older, I think, than you.
Okay.
But anyway, he also said that you're absolutely right about Manchester then. He didn't go to the Sex Pistols gig, but everyone seemed to do it.
One of my classmates at Severian was Manny out of the Stone Roses.
My God! Wow.
Yeah.
So,
and one of my claims to fame is that I once got a death threat off Marky Smith as well on my answer phone. So I've lived a bit, Anne. I've lived a bit,
So like I said, you're in the thick of it, and it's like you lived that Manchester, the one that we only dream about, being not from Manchester originally, but you were actually there. But can I just ask, are you from a musical family at all?
No. My dad was a painter and decorator for the council. My mum was a cleaner at a hospital. There was no musicality, but my dad bought a piano when I was 9-year-old and said, I'd like you to see if you'd like to learn to play the piano. And my dad worked as a painter and decorator, but he was quite a good artist, so he used to paint landscapes. No education, no support from his family in terms of doing any of that. So I think he wanted better for me artistically. And I struggled with the piano till I was 17, got to grade 5, never really enjoyed it, never really had any natural talent for it. I think I did it for my dad more than anything. And then at the age of 17, a friend of mine said, shall we form a band? And the wonderfully named Severance Head was formed with a fantastic guy called Paul Housley, who's now a fine artist resident in London. And I got a drum kit and I used to practice in my bedroom and my headphones on, listening to, at that time, The Who and AC/DC, playing along, you know, as a kid.
Wow.
And so I have no musical background in my family at all. And some would say I have no musicality anyway. So, you know, I hit things. That's what I do, and I hit things.
So did you have any drumming lessons?
No.
Like, no.
Sorry, I tell a lie. I had one, and I hated it.
Oh,
so I just carried on doing what I was doing, making lots of bad mistakes, getting lots of bad habits, but what I lacked in technical ability, I tried to make up for in passion, really, I think.
Yeah. So your first band, the one that you mentioned, is it Severed Head?
Severance Head. Severance Head evolved into The Whores, and we did a couple of gigs. And infamously, we only had 6 songs, and the guy told us we had to do 2 half-hour sets. So we took one of our songs and played it for 30 minutes.
Oh,
God. That went down well, as you can imagine.
So, because you mentioned earlier about the Sandman, I found out something about something about the Sandman. So, was this after the Severance Head or the Horse?
Oh yes, it was quite a bit afterwards. I was in the next band I was in with a band called the Donnybrook Affair, which didn't do very much. Had a fantastic singer who went on to be Eva. Had a #1 in Portugal, I think. And then after that, I formed the Sandmen with Richard Kavalik and Pat Seaman, who is a fantastic bass player, vocalist, and latterly a producer and engineer. Produces a lot of his own stuff. Fantastic music, and on Sanskrit, as I recall. And we took that and had various members. I stayed in it until about 91, and then I left, and another drummer took over from me, which I was ready to leave and let them move on. I did a bit of managing of them, and they had a Peel session, actually, which is a fantastic claim to fame in terms of, I wasn't on the Peel session, but they got a Peel session. The 2 tours we did with the Fall and the one with Spell Carpets were fantastic. I mean, that's great highlights for me in terms of, you know, playing at those venues, but also being rubbing shoulders with them bands, and you know, being on very close quarters with Marky Smith, who was an amazing character, a really interesting character indeed, and the band were as well. So I had, that was my checkered history, and then I left music. I mean, I was still always interested in music, still always great bands, but I then met Macca a bit later on. Probably me and Macca met each other in the late 90s, I think. It was like that or 2000, and we just did various bits and bobs. But this iteration of Gdansk81 is probably about 5 years old, and it's probably one of the most rewarding experiences I've had, because coming back to it a bit later in life, it's just so much fun. I just so enjoy playing, and it provides something in my life that nothing else. You know, I have a fabulous family and everything, but that creative, spiritual side of yourself, you know, getting up on stage and playing the drums, it's a very unique thing that it brings to your life.
Yeah. Well, Al Baker. Hello, Al Baker. Thank you for joining us live. He's actually put a link to the Sandmen's The Other Side of Midnight. I saw that video, actually. You're the one wearing the orange. I think you're wearing an orange shirt. And you're
listen, Anne, it was very much in fashion then. Orange tie-dye and paisley shorts was very much the in thing at that time. Al Baker is an absolutely fantastic photographer. Works at the I think MMU now in the photography department. He has documented. I don't know if you ever get the chance to see it. Look him up on the and Google him. He lived in Hume, and he's documented life in Hume at the time that the flats were there, but also being pulled down. And he has curated a fantastic set of images and films around that time. He also did a film of the Sandmen as well at the time we were in there, and his work is very much worth a visit. He's got some fantastic, mainly black and white, but some fantastic sets of photographs and images and videos. So I recommend you have a look at Al Baker's work.
There you go.
Hello,
we're back.
We're back.
It's still, I mean, Aiden was just saying to me, this glitch is still there. It hasn't been diagnosed. I don't know what goes. Sometimes it doesn't happen all the time though. But you know, we're back now anyway. So we were talking about Al Baker's documentation of the Hume Crescent.
And the Manchester music scene as well. Did a lot
and the Manchester music scene.
Oh, superb stuff.
Yeah. Well, definitely, you know, we have to check that one out. But and also another thing that where I found out about the Sandmen is there's a website called MDMA, which is Manchester District Music Archive. That's also another brilliant resources. So I've seen quite a few posters and gig flyers, and there's some articles there as well about the Sandman. I mean, one particular one that I've read, I don't know if this was so like if the critic or whatever you call it, John Slater, his name is. I don't know if he was talking about you being the drummer, but but apparently he said something that it's about time the drummer learned the new fill.
That's fair.
And it was only because you didn't last long in the Sandmen, did you? You were only there.
Couple of years.
Yeah. And also he said that the band is like Lloyd Cole on gin and Valium, which is just so... I wonder if he's still around though. I mean, do you know this John Slater?
I actually knew John. He was took an interest in us for a while. He was a nice guy actually, but it's all fair criticism. A bit of a slight on Lloyd Cole, I would say that, but you know, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So after the Sandmen, you didn't do any like you weren't in a band until Gdansk81, or?
That's correct. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So what kept you busy? I mean, what did you do during that period? Because Gdansk81, I believe, formed in 2019?
Yeah, around about that time. Yeah,
It's a long time. It's a long gap between.
Yeah. Oh, massive gap. Yeah. I spent a good while out in the wilderness. I managed a couple of bands, and I very much kept an interest in terms of going to see bands. But to be honest with you, during that kind of hiatus, I wasn't that particularly interested in playing again. It was only when I met Macca that I kind of got the idea that it'd be nice to get a kit and just, you know, revisit my musical roots, as it were, and and greatly enjoyed it having done that. So always been very close to music, but not necessarily wanting to actually play until, as I said, I got together with Macca and Leslie Steve.
Yeah. So you didn't play at all?
No.
You wouldn't. No. You stopped being a drummer for a while.
Yeah, I just left it in abeyance. Yeah.
Oh wow! And what happened to your drum kit? You just
sold it. Yeah, sold it.
Yeah. So let's talk about Gdansk81, because that's unusual, isn't it? Because Gdansk, that's a city or a place name in Poland. So how did you come up with Gdansk and then 81? And it's all one word, like what in your name? It's not Gdansk and then 81. So it's like one word. Well, so how did you get the name?
Well, I read a story once that the infamous Bay City Rollers, when they were trying to come up with a name for their band, got a map and stuck a pin in it, and the pin was closest to Bay City in the United States. So I suggested we do something similar, you know, like, and I don't know where we stuck the map. It might have been near somewhere called, I don't know, some sort of like nondescript name. But I noticed that Gdansk was nearby, and I thought, well, Gdansk got a bit of history, hasn't it? The shipyards, the uprising in the late 70s, and I thought it was kind of romantic, Lech Walesa and all that kind of thing. The actual stuff that went on was around about 79, 80, but we didn't think that scanned as well as 81. So Gdansk81 was born out of a kind of romantic notion of association with the Polish uprising in the late 70s. Yeah. And 1981 was pretty groovy time as well, because New Wave was really hitting the ground in 81 and all that kind of thing. It sounded to me a bit like a dance band's name, which I quite liked as well, because I've always been into me dancey stuff. So yeah, it was something as well thought out as that in terms of coming up with a name. It's one of the worst things a band could ever do is try and come up with a name. It's absolutely horrendous activity. And to be honest, band names out of context are rubbish, because they only become good names really because people know who they are, if you know what I mean. I remember a guy reading the story about a guy who'd been to see the Smiths in their very early time, coming up to him backstage and saying, "Hey, great music, lads, but you're never going to make it with a name like the Smiths." You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, it's kind of what's in a name in a band.
That's right. Well, any of you been to Gdansk or
no?
Okay.
Oh, sorry, that's a lie. Mac has been to Gdansk. We got in touch with a festival over there that we were in communication with about, coming over to play at the festival in Gdansk, but we just didn't manage to get our act together in order to do it, basically. So, but it's still a dream of mine to go and play in Gdansk, to be Gdansk81 and playing Gdansk. And we have had Polish folks come up to us at gigs and say, "Why are you called Gdansk81?" Because they're thinking there must be Polish association in the band, which there isn't.
Yeah, and it's not mainly a Manchester band; it's a Manchester-Liverpool band, isn't it? Because Maka, he's from Liverpool, and you're from Manchester. And have you always?
Claire, the keyboard. Oh yeah.
Oh right, yeah. So the ones band members who formed the band, because there's a young guy. I didn't get his name, but there's a young guy who plays guitar.
Steve.
Steve, that is his name.
Yeah.
Is he from Manchester or from Liverpool?
He's Steve's from same town as me.
Right.
Lady Bridge, and he's not that young, but fair enough,
Oh,
he looks young. He looks young. Yeah.
So because when I saw you for the first time, there were 6 of you. There were 2 girls and then 4 boys, but last night there was only 5.
Yeah, well, sometimes if Claire can't make it, she's got a young family, and if she can't make it, then we play as a 5-piece. So, but rarely. I mean, we like to play as a 6-piece as often as we can. So Claire's from Mossley, so she's local, and Aaron's from Northern Ireland, but now lives in Marple near Manchester. And the 2 Liverpudlians. So when Macca and myself met, Macca was living in Glossop at the time, so he was living over here. He subsequently moved back to Liverpool. So Claire and Macca travel over from Liverpool every week to rehearse with us.
Oh, so you rehearse in Manchester?
Yeah, we're rehearsing at the Silver Lining Studios, which are excellent recording rehearsal studios, and other studios are available. But Silver Lining is an excellent studio.
Yeah. It's just amazing because Manchester and Liverpool, those are like the music capitals of the world. And because I always say, what is it about those cities? Why is it about Manchester?
Yeah.
It always comes up with all these amazing musicians. It seems like that's the thing to do. If you're young and you're from Manchester or you're from Liverpool, you want to become a musician, or you pick up an instrument and then you play. What is it about the cities?
Well, I'm a firm believer that it's in both of those cities. If you think about their heritage and the fact that they both got very large Irish communities as well, I think has got something to do with it for me. And the fact that the music tends to be born out of the working class in those cities, then I think that's the sort of thing that drives it. And it's an escape as well. We're getting a band, at that time, 60s, 70s, get out of the drudgery and the dirge. And I think a lot of people spawned out of that. So, you look at some of the bands that there are obviously some as there always is some bands born out of like middle class kids. But I think there was a fair representation of working class kids as well in those bands. Oasis, Mappy Mondays, the Beatles.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
they were all born out of that kind of off the streets, as it were, and wanted
yeah,
to do something exciting. But I think there's you know that the talent that came through was because there was a scene that supported it as well. There were clubs, there were people who wanted to listen to music. I
yeah,
think they were both kind of like large conurbations, home of the Industrial Revolution, all that kind of stuff. So there's kind of a tradition of music and in clubs and pubs, you know, working men's clubs and things like that. So I think a lot of it was spawned and supported by that. And the fact that a lot of people in the musical community in Manchester are very supportive of each other as well. You know, people go to each other's gigs.
yeah,
There
yeah,
are promoters out there. There are people like Brad Bennett and Brian Mack and Melanie Price who put on us on in Jacaranda in Wednesday. These are people who put gigs on because they love to put gigs on, not because they're trying to make a load of money out of it, because they believe in music and trying to bring people through. So there's that kind of scene as well. So
yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's a hotbed and will continue to be a hotbed of musical talent. And let's not forget sporting talent as well. You know, the Northwest is the capital of, you know, football. It's the, you know, as well as music, and you know, it's kind of the two things probably go hand in hand for me. But yeah,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. It's just it fascinates me really about Manchester and Liverpool that it's almost like these two cities. You know, if somebody says that they're banned from Manchester or they're banned from Liverpool, you really have to watch them and you see them. I mean, I have seen Gdansk81 a few times because you've been around for a few years now.
oh, we've been around. Yeah, we've been around.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember that you supported the Room.
Oh yeah, a couple of
Yeah,
occasions, at least two occasions.
yeah, but it just so happened that it clashed with another gig because I love the Room,
Yeah.
and I would have been to that gig, but I remember I think it clashed with another one because with another gig, so I went to that one instead of the Room. But yeah, my friends also actually quite surprised when they found out that's the first time I saw you at the Cavern Club
Right.
because because they've been to your gigs and they
Yeah.
all of them said that how brilliant you are, but so Maka, I found out again because like when I saw you at the Cavern Club, so I found out that he's from Liverpool, and I found out that his teacher was actually Paul Skillen of, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Paul Skillen is from This Final Frame, which is a Liverpool band. They're big in the Philippines. I mean, we love them.
I'm disappointed to find out that you know more about Macca than I do, to be honest.
Because when you Google about person, because I don't think you're on Discogs. Because Gdansk81, I tried to look it up on Discogs because you've done a few albums already, although
Yeah.
it's not. But I don't think it's already been listed on Discogs.
No. Oh, I don't know. I don't really know what Discogs is, mate.
You've
Do
released
you know
it
about Macca? Do you know who Macca's uncle is? His uncle is John McNally, who's the lead guitarist with the Searchers. He was a massive
right.
Liverpool.
Oh, see, yeah, no, I was chatting to him last night because like he, when he used to live in Gloucester, he's friends with Steve Roberts of 16 Tambourines. Again, they were big in the Philippines.
Right. Right. Well, I'd like to be big in the Philippines at some stage. Sounds great.
Yeah. I mean, the music that you make, because you're obviously, I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're obviously influenced by Joy Division.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that kind of music, that's the sort of music that the we call them Filipino new wavers. That's the kind of music that we love.
Okay.
That's why when I heard you, the first song that you did at the Cavern Club, I thought, oh my God, they're amazing.
Yeah.
They're so good. And when the other Claire, because you've got two Claires in the band, right?
Very confusing, mate. I don't know what the collective term for Claires is, but yeah. You shout Claire, you get two people looking up at you,
Yeah, because when she did that vocals, I think it was the third song.
Yeah.
And it almost reminded me of Jane Casey from Big in Japan.
Oh, right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that tone. And I was really so like gripped. I was watching you. It's just a shame though, because um at the Cavern Club, I think I was the only one at the front. Most of them were sitting down.
Yeah.
So like at the side.
Yeah.
And then I thought, when I saw Maka looking at that side of the stage, I
Yeah.
thought, oh, maybe he's just looking at the people who are sitting down. But then I realized last night he was also doing the same, and there was no one there. Is that
Ah,
his? Is that, is that his style of performance? I
yeah.
was like,
I think style is over egging it really. I mean, he's very much uh, he's very much a kind of he's a still presence. He puts all his energy into his performance, but he's quite a still presence in terms of a vocalist, and that's always been his way, as it were. Whereas the contrast, and I know Claire wasn't there last night, but the contrast is Claire, has got so much energy, and I think I think she's quite aggressive, in her delivery. It just doesn't, it doesn't sort of like align with how you see her and that perception of her as. But she comes across when she starts to sing and perform as this very sort of like strong personality.
yeah,
It's very like direct style. So yeah, it's a lovely contrast between the two of them, I think.
yeah, yeah. And you've already released 2 albums, or is it more than that? 2 albums in a single.
We've released one album, and then we've released a lot of EPs, and we've got another album that's going to come out later this year, which is new material. So it's mainly EPs. So they're mainly 4-track EPs that we've released, and then a while ago we released one album, which is quite an early one now, and we don't play much off that album anymore. But yeah, we've tended to do one EP a year.
Okay, yeah, yeah. And so people who can't go to your gigs, they're actually available. You've got a Bandcamp
Yes,
page.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Because the thing that I forgot, because I came straight from work last night, so I forgot to bring my CDs. Because I bought the CDs at the Cavern Club,
Cool.
but I don't know whether you did enjoy that performance, didn't you?
Last night.
No, the one at the Cavern Club.
Oh yeah, the Cavern Club was great. Yeah,
Okay,
the
because
sound on stage was fantastic. Yeah.
yeah, because I wasn't sure whether you did, because I bought the CD, and I don't know whether it's just Marcus, he doesn't smile a lot, but but I tried to look for the band after the gig, and you're all gone, or you're about to leave or something. I didn't even see you that time.
Did you know?
I think,
We
yeah, I
stayed
think
for a bit. We did stay for. I stayed for most of the Echo set.
right. Okay. Well,
Yeah, Maka, you'd never know if Maka's enjoying himself or not. You'd never know. It would if he was delighted and ecstatic, he would just appear to you the same as he appeared to you when you saw him.
So can I just ask you about the way you do the album or the way you record your album?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it the process is you do all your drum parts, you create,
So-
or you write your own drum part?
So we use this Oxygen Studios, which is in Salford, just more or less into Salford, and we work with a producer, a guy called Christoph Bride, and Christoph works with the Chameleons, ACR, and
Yeah.
and he's an absolutely tremendous, talented Frenchman who's more than just the guy who records you and mixes it. He hears things and he suggests things and he shares ideas with you based on what, and it's amazing because he's standing outside. He's got an objective view of what he's hearing, and you can hear things that we can't hear. And he's brilliant to work with. So what we tend to do is when we've got the song sorted, we go into the studio. We're going in on the 5th and 6th of September, and we all get we all get mic'd up. He records the drums and the bass together initially. there's the other instruments are playing, but they're not being recorded. They're there as a guide. And then after we've got the guitar, the bass, and the drum tracks down, and we're satisfied with them, he'll then, he'll then record the guitars, and then use the guitars and keys, and then the vocals last. And then that's the process we go through to get things finished. And then he'll mix it, and then we'll have a listen to the mix and perhaps suggest some adjustments, and then it'll go off for finishing for I can't even remember what they call it now, Anne. It's just gone out of my head. But anyway, there's some sort of dark arts that mean that it gets the finishes touches to it. Mastered, it gets mastered. That's it. And that goes sent away to people who you never see who master it, and it comes back sounding better again because it's been polished in some mysterious, dark way, which is great. Really.
Yeah. But these are all you wrote. I don't know what's the right word for it. Do you write drum bits or do you?
No, I wouldn't describe it as writing. And what happens is, I sometimes wonder about the process myself, and I don't know if this is, I've never asked other bands about their process, but usually Steve, Macca, or Claire on the guitar will just bring an idea. So that could be a riff, or it could be a series of chord progression. Macca will usually have a few lyrics alongside as well, and we'll jam it. We'll jam it, and we'll just play it until something emerges. And then some things just don't make the grade, so we just forget about them. And other things become. Now, by the time it's finished, it really doesn't bear any relation to the thing we first started with. And everything, the bass line develops. I mean, Aaron's a fantastic bass player. He's got such a good ear, and I just basically start playing with beats that might go with the song and complement the song. So it's I sometimes listen back to stuff we've done, and I think to myself, and I don't mean this in any kind of because I don't consider myself in any way technically particularly gifted, but I sometimes come up with stuff that I wonder how I came up with that, which is great because it's just a process. It's kind of like it's feel as much as anything. So I never write drum music down. Can't read drum music. It's just feel basically.
Well, don't get me wrong. I mean, whenever I go to a gig, I always want to make sure that I can see the drummer because I love watching the drummer and everything.
I think you're right. I mean, that's absolutely right, mate. That's
because they're really exciting the way they play and stuff.
Absolutely.
The first time I saw you, I don't know what it is, but do you hesitate sometimes? Because there was, what? I think I recorded it and I saw one thing that you were going to hit the drums, but you didn't.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you sometimes do that? That maybe you're hesitating, or maybe it's not.
I just sometimes, and I make mistakes, and sometimes I think I'm somewhere in the song, and then we're not there in the song, because I get so sort of like sucked into it and so in the zone with it that I sometimes forget what I'm doing. So I'll go somewhere for the cymbal, or I'll go for the tom, and I'll think, oh no, that's not right. That's not where we do that now. And we make mistakes, and you know what? I'm totally fine with that. Because sometimes, because rarely, I mean, you're looking for it, but rarely people would notice anyway. If you,
that's true. Yeah.
Sometimes, say what it is. Sometimes is that Macca comes in the wrong place, and then that throws me. Because then I have to think about, well, how are we going to compensate for this now that he's come in the wrong place, and we'll have to go through that bit again. So that's sometimes what it is. I blame it on Macca. I blame it on Macca.
Yeah. But I've also noticed that it's not you, but sometimes, do you know when you hit it, you don't hit the right thing, and it sounded like tiny.
Yeah,
that's me. Is that a regular thing with drummers?
That's usually me hitting the microphone. The thing is, when you play at rehearsal, there are no microphones. Your kit's not mic'd up. So when you play a gig and your kit's mic'd up, these things are there that aren't there normally. Yeah. So I am an absolute monkey for hitting the drum mic. So if you hear that, that's probably me banging the drum mic, and the sound engineer is probably rolling his eyes, thinking, "Oh my God, he's hit the microphone." Yeah. And it's there. Look, they put the mic so close to the drum. And not last night at the gig the Echoes, the mic was hanging over the snare rather than sort of like lateral to it, and I hit it with a stick and knocked it on the floor. So I had to, at the end of the song, I had to pick it up and stick the microphone back on the snare. I'm clumsy, Anne. I'm clumsy. That's what.
Well, I know that the drum kit that you used at the Cavern Club and last night in Blossom, that's Simon's drum kit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lovely kit.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously okay for other drummers to play it, to use it. But what about if it's your drum kit that other people are using? Are you okay with that as well?
I'm absolutely fine with it. The problem for me is I rarely, because we're quite often opening for people, or because we're at a venue where they've got a house kit, which makes sense because it's, the sound engineer is familiar with it, and it just saves hassle for the drummer bringing his whole kit. And I do actually, I really like to prefer to use my own. Playing Simon's kit, or any other kit for that matter that's not mine, is always going to be a little bit like wearing somebody else's cardigan. You know what I mean? So it's everything. It's a cardigan. You can get your arms through it. You know what I mean? You can button it up, but it doesn't feel quite right because it's not yours. You know what I mean? So it's that kind of strangeness of the different sizes of drum. When we played at the Jacaranda on Wednesday, the rack tom was about 8 inches rather than the usual sort of 14 inches that I got. And I kept saying to the other guys, I said, I'm going to miss that. I can't hit that. It's too small. And it sounded okay. And I did hit it, but again, it just makes you feel a little bit, it makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable playing somebody else's kit. It's like wearing their pumps.
Yeah. Well, I especially last time I've noticed it that it's not all glamour, being in the band, because like with
none of it's glamour. None of it's glamour, Anne.
After your set last night, and then you have to remove quite a lot of things from the drum kit and then put it back into and I could tell that you're all like rushed because the next band is going to be playing so I'm playing on stage. So have you ever lost any of those parts or any of your kit?
Yes. I came home from a gig a while ago and got my stuff in and realised I'd left a cymbal stand there. So then you have to go back and collect it. You know what I mean? It's absolute pain. And because, don't forget, and you noticed it last night, quite often you're packing up between bands in semi-darkness, so you can't really see anything very well either. So, and then if you're taking the nut off the top of the cymbal and you drop it, you're trying to find this little thing, in the dark on the floor. You know what I mean? It's a nightmare, absolute nightmare. And of course, and I'm glad you appreciate drummers, mate, because we have the most kit to move. We have all these heavy stands to move. It takes us much longer to get things set up. And when we're getting ready, there are some band members that suddenly vacate the premises and disappear when there's stuff to be carried and things to be moved. All of a sudden, you can't see them for dust. You know what I mean? So, drummers have it difficult. I mean, God, vocalists only have to bring a microphone. Not difficult to say. Oh, God. Nobody's going to get a sore back from moving a microphone, are they?
We've got Patrick Luke. He said, "Love you, Slayer."
He's the singer. He's the singer from the Sandmen.
Oh right, hello Patrick. Oh wow, I really need to. So what's happening now? Is that finished? So I'm glad that you're still in touch with the Sandmen.
I'm in touch with Patrick. Sadly, I'm not in touch with many other members. And one of the bass players we had, Paul Clements, who was a fantastic guy. He died in 2019, I think it was. Sadly. Pat, I'm still in touch with him. Pat is such a talent, and he's still really heavily involved. He's been producing in Brixton for years now, produced some fantastic stuff. So it's really brilliant seeing, sort of like him and still doing the work that he does. But it's the Sandmen was for me, and this is only my personal opinion. Pat may take another view, but we were the right band in the wrong time. I think if we perhaps come along a few years later, we might have things might have been a little bit different. I don't know. Because we were
Oh,
caught up in that Manchester thing, but we weren't that Manchester thing. You know what I mean? The Stone
oh,
Roses.
I see. Yeah, yeah.
John Robb described our first EP, Buffalo, which was when I was in the band, the one that I played on, as a dark slice of noble rock. Well, that's not really the thing that was hitting the mark at that time in 1989. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so there's a lot of talent in the band, but unfortunately, not much purchase.
You didn't fit in the Manchester scene at the time because that's all baggy, like
It was
baggy.
big baggy jeans and very stylish orange tie-dye t-shirts and floppy hair as well.
Have you ever thought about too? Because there's quite a lot of '90s bands that are getting back together and then doing gigs again. And so, have you ever thought about
No.
doing?
Well,
Because
we've no idea where the guitarist is for a start.
Oh,
He could
right.
be anywhere in the country. I've not spoken to him for years and years. I don't think Pat has it either.
Okay.
And the bass player of that time, after I joined, after I left, plays in Woman You Stole, which is a band
Oh, right.
yeah, Steve Native. He's in Woman You Stole, but he plays drums in that band. And Charlie Moore, who was the drummer after me, he played in the Mac Lads as well as others. So yeah, but no, there's no chance that'd be on the
It's
card.
not. Yeah, it's not happening. Okay. Well,
And we certainly won't make any money out of it if we did.
Well, have you got any more gigs coming up? I mean, Gdansk.
Yes.
You do a lot of gigs, I believe. It's like, I mean, I'm really sorry that I've only just got to know your music, but
anytime's the right time. And it's,
I
you know,
suppose, yeah.
it's the next gigs. Let me tell you, the next gig. I'm going to have to put the specs on for this. So August is out because everybody's on holiday.
Oh, right.
We're in the studio with Christoph on the 6th and 7th of September, finishing off the album, and then on the 20th of September, Saturday the 20th of September, we're playing at the Snug in Atherton. And the Snug is I don't know if you've ever been. Have you ever been to the Snug?
Yeah, I have been
What
there.
a fantastic venue. And they video and record everything you do, which is just a fantastic service that they provide.
Yeah,
It's such a brilliant community venue, and you know, it's such a fantastic thing. To have in a town like Atherton, they're so blessed to have somewhere like that, a venue like that. And then the week after, on the 27th, Saturday the 27th September, you can see us in Manchester, opening for a Pixies tribute band who we played with before, and in much the same way as I really enjoyed Echoes of the Bunnymen, because there was grooving to all hearing all the Pixies stuff and played really well, absolutely brilliant. So we'll be opening for those Pixie people, and then on the 11th of October we'll be at the Bank Top Tavern in Oldham playing there, and that's hosted by a guy called Bry Mack. I don't know if you've ever come across Bry. He's a guy like Brad Bennett, like Mel Price, who puts on gigs at the Bank Top Tavern on every month, and basically he just offers opportunities for bands to play and develop, and he does it because he loves it, and not because he's a professional promoter who's interested in getting paid. He does it because he thinks it's a fantastic thing to do, and he loves music. So we always love to go along and play for Brian,
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the Pixies tribute band. I think I know the drummer.
Andy. Well,
Andy.
Look, mate, if anybody would know the drummer, it'd be you.
I think it's Andy Fernie or something who drums for Pixies.
I don't know what he's called. I'll be honest.
Oh no, okay. I've got to find out because I did say to him that I will go and see his band too sometime. So it would be nice.
That'd be a good opportunity because you get to see
Yeah, that's right. So you're going to record a new album, which means that does that mean that you're going to be touring that album once it's released?
We'll get we'll get a few gigs sorted out as soon as we're ready to go with it. We've got the promotion sorted out, and we're deciding what. There's talk about doing some vinyl pressings, and we'll see about that. We'll get some gigs organised. I mean, it's good to have vinyl, I think, at gigs, because sometimes it's a sort of like niche thing, isn't it? Really, and people like to buy a bit of vinyl these days. So
Yeah.
we might do that, but it'll be on all the usual platforms, when we release it, and we'll have to have we're talking about what we'll do for a launch night as well. So obviously we'll get an invite along to that. But we're very much at the just prepping it stage now. We've just gone. At the moment, we're very much focused on the songs and getting them ready for recording.
Yeah. What about merch? Because you were wearing a really nice sort like top of the cover, which
Lovely, isn't it? Yeah, with the Gdansk81. So
So
we've
is that
sold that.
available?
No, it is, but we're just having merch done at the moment. We're having the t-shirts done at the moment because we sold out of the t-shirts. We had a really nice fetching green one with white writing, and we got the black one with the white writing, and we're going to get a few more done, ready for when we go gigging. Once the album's sorted. And we also had some beer mats done. They went well, and we had some badges. Yeah, we had some badges. They went well as well. The badges, and we have some CDs that people can buy as well. Cause
Yeah.
some people still play CDs, would you believe?
Oh yeah, I do.
CD player. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah. Do you have a record collection though?
I do have a record collection. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's a relatively small one. I was one of those people, and I know I'm not the only one, but I wouldn't know how many years ago it was now. But when CDs were taken over, I mean, I let a lot of my vinyl go.
Yeah, because
and I regret it, and to this day I regret it greatly.
Yeah, because being in the thick of the Manchester music scene, because Tony Wilson once said that Manchester kids have the best record collection.
Yeah,
ever.
Absolutely true.
You must have had like a brilliant record collection when you were.
I had the original Spiral Scratch by the Buzzcocks, and I had the original 7-inch Shot by Both Sides by Magazine, and I could go on. And across the years, either by hook or by crook, those two have been lost across the years.
Yeah.
So I didn't look after them as I should have done, because
Yeah. Can I just ask you, do you get starstruck? I mean, being from Manchester, it's like say New Order or Joy Division. Did you ever get to see Joy Division? Were you too young?
No, I never saw Joy Division. No, I don't get starstruck. I enjoy meeting musicians, I know, but I wouldn't say I ever got starstruck. I met, well, funnily enough, when we were on tour with the Inspirals, 1989-90. The guitar tech for them at that time was one Noel Gallagher, and my Noel Gallagher story is that he very kindly, he was a lovely guy. He very kindly came to our bit. He nicked, like big bands get riders on, so they get beers and they get food. And that. The support band, just take the scraps from the table if there's anything left. You know what I mean? But he nicked a load of lagers for us, Noel, and brought it to us. So what a great guy! Looked after the support band. What a geezer. And I remember him saying to us, I can't remember whether even it was Pat might have said it to him, but I'm sure this isn't a false recollection, but I'm sure Pat said to him, "What are you doing after the tour then?" And he said, "Oh, I'm thinking about getting a band together with my brother." And we went, "Oh yeah, right, okay, mate." Like, that sounds nice. Yeah. And then I don't know whatever happened to Noel Gallagher. I've no idea. No idea.
Oh God! Well, talking about the Gallagher brothers, I mean, did you go to any of the Oasis gigs?
Do you know what? I have. I'm not a fan of Oasis. It's not my thing. Just not my thing.
Oh, okay. Because they were like before you were in the Sandman, right? No.
They were. They started out in '94.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. It's after. Sorry, I meant it's after.
Yeah, they started out in '94. Yeah.
Yeah, and you weren't keen on.
No, I don't. It's one of those. I don't dislike them, but I don't like them enough to particularly listen to them a lot. It's the sound they've got is that I can understand why it's really popular, but it just doesn't speak to me. It leaves me cold, the music.
Well, when you were a teenager, can I just ask you what were your favourite Manchester bands?
My favourite Manchester band, well, obviously Joy Division. I listened to New Order, but I was never that passionate about New Order. I must say. But my favourite Manchester bands were the Buzzcocks and Magazine.
Oh wow! What about the Smiths?
Smiths I like, yeah, I like them a lot. But if it was if you're asking me which band I'd want to take out for dinner, it'd be the Buzzcocks
Oh.
Magazine.
And did you get to meet them? Like, did you get to meet Pete Shelley before?
I didn't meet Pete Shelley. I met Steve Diggle. I met him at I think I met him at the Who concert at Apollo in Manchester. Or it might have been Magazine. No, I think it was Magazine. So I spoke to Steve Diggle and none of the other ones. I'd like to meet Howard Devoto, but I've never met him.
Well, because the reason why I'm asking is being a musician yourself, because I love meeting all these musicians. I mean, I've asked you if I could have a photograph with you and things like that. But being a musician yourself, and you wanted to meet these other musicians, do you use that to, like, I'm the drummer of Gdansk81? So it's like, no,
I don't think that's going to get much leverage from me, mate. To be honest, you know what I mean? It's like I might, do you know who I am? I'm the drummer with Gdansk81. You know what I mean? Yeah, then it's going to be kind of like empty, dead air. Then isn't it? It's sort of like tumbleweed. So I like to discuss music with folks. I mean, there's a sadly demised now, but a really good band called Hostile Foreign Powers who just recently packed it in and got to meet Yuli out of that band, and he stood in for us on Wednesday night, Jacaranda. So I've made friends through other bands, which has always been a lovely thing, to do. And there's none of this, for me, there's never any of this competitiveness. I don't go to a gig worrying, will they be better than us? Or, you go to a gig and you just enjoy each other getting up there doing the music.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah. Well, Al Baker asked, what about the Mighty Fall?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Al, how did I not mention the Fall? Oh, my God.
So what's the story about the Mighty Fall?
I've got every album the Fall ever made. I have met Marky Smith and I've met other members of the band, and I met Simon Wollstonecroft, who you probably know.
I love Funky Si. He's brilliant.
Si is just such a lovely guy as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Marky. That time I was managing the Sandmen, or trying to do an impression of somebody who manages, he got hold of me after they finished sound checking. The Sandmen were sound checking. He said, "Do you want to come to the pub?" So if Marky Smith asked you to go to the pub, you go, don't you? You know what I mean? So I walked down. I had time with Mark on my own. I was, do you know what, mate? You said about being starstruck. I think I've lied to you, because that is the one occasion that I think I felt a bit starstruck. I remember feeling a bit nervous and a bit breathless that I was walking out with Marky Smith on my own, and we got in a boozer around the corner from the ICA in London, and we had a beer and we sat just chatting about this, that, and the other. And it was just, I remember sitting there thinking, I'm sitting in the pub with Marky Smith having a chat. You know what I mean? It was absolutely brilliant. And I think that's probably the one time I've been starstruck. And the one time that, the one member of the music fraternity who I was a little bit kind of pleased that I actually managed to have a little bit of time with, just on my own. Me on my own with Marky Smith.
Wow. Yeah.
And we met the Chameleons. Obviously, with the Gdansk81, we met the Chameleons. So they're lovely guys. And we gigged with them a couple of times. That was brilliant, gigging with the Chameleons. And they're such a good band as well. It's so good. So there's every time, I mean, a bit like you, I guess, when you go to gigs. I mean, I do the same thing. I mean, you get to talk to the bands that you're playing with. You get to find out their stories, don't you? You get to all of it is just like reinforces this sense of community and this idea that you're all in it together, and it's we all have the same issues around things going wrong and things not quite working out how you expected them to. It's all that.
Well, especially drummers. especially drummers, because Lowell Tolhurst from The Cure once said that all drummers are friends. So, are you friends with Funky Sai and
No,
with Paul
I'm not
Henry?
friends with Simon. I mean, I met him, but I'm not friends. I'm not friends with him. And I've got to say, I'm thinking hard now, but I don't really have. Yeah, actually, let me just correct myself. There are two drummers that I love, who I do speak to, and who I do love seeing, and I consider myself to be friends with. One's Leanne, who's the drummer out of Slab.
Oh,
I don't,
Slav, yeah, yeah,
yeah, you want to get Leanne on it. Leanne is a fantastic drummer. She's an
yeah,
animal on that
yeah.
stage.
I've seen
And the
Slav, yeah,
and
yeah.
the other drummer who you should get on is Selena Clements Woolnoth. She
Oh,
is the
she's
drummer with
already,
you
yeah,
are.
she's already been on the show.
She's
So
already
I
been on.
love,
Well, there you go. There
yeah,
you go.
I love
So
Selena.
Selena's and she was the wife of Paul, you know, the bassist who died, who was in the Sandmen.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, she was Paul's wife, and she's also. Unfortunately, I couldn't go on Friday. Tuareg were playing at the Spinning Top. She plays in Tuareg, and she
yeah.
played in the wonderful Flamingo Diaries.
I haven't seen Flamingo Diaries,
They're
but
one of my favourite bands. One of my favourite bands, and I've seen
yeah,
them probably more times than any other band, probably. But Slab,
yeah,
I always go and see Slab whenever I can. I always love watching Leanne play. I love watching them play because they're just absolutely fantastic. Slab.
yeah. I saw them at the Pear Hut. I think I've seen them twice already.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I have a photo with Leah, but I should get because I think I'm not sure if she's on Facebook, but maybe she is. I'll have a look.
I just contact them through Insta. Me, I don't have her on Facebook. Don't think.
Oh, right, okay. But Tuareg, I thought they were gonna be playing tonight at the Spinning Top, but it's actually last night. So
Oh, right.
yeah, because when I got the notification, it says Sunday the 20th. So I thought, oh, that's perfect. Because after the podcast, I'll just go down because I
Yeah,
live near the Spinning Top.
yeah.
So I could just go down there. But I just realized that it was last night when they played. So
Ah, right.
I was
Okay.
off up last night. So but that's good that you've got lots of gigs to look forward to.
Yeah, yeah. I
I'll
love gigging.
Yeah, I'll definitely go and see you again. And also the new album that you're recording soon.
Absolutely. Good.
Yeah, but there's one thing that I discovered when I was Googling your name. So apparently in 2012, you carried the Olympic torch
Oh my God, Jordan! I feel like I've
through
been
man.
investigated by the CIA here. I did indeed carry the Olympic torch. Yeah.
How did you manage that? I mean, how did you get the job of carrying the torch
So
for the Olympics?
at the time, I was involved in junior football. I was coaching my son and his team, and I was working at the University of Huddersfield, and it was them that nominated me to carry the torch. So I was nominated by Huddersfield, but I actually carried it in Ashton.
Oh, okay. Because I mean, the London Olympics, the 2012 Olympics, that's probably the best ever. That's the best Olympics. So it's like,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah. I've got the torch.
carrying the
I've got the
torch.
torch. The torch is upstairs in my bedroom.
Really?
Yeah,
You
in the
kept it?
original bag. And I've also got the uniform I wore. And unfortunately, I lost a stone in weight before I went on the run because I wanted to look good. But obviously, the trousers fitted me when I was a stone heavier. So I spent most of the run holding my trousers up, to be honest.
Oh, I see. So you kept all that, even the torch, the what do you call official? It's an
Yeah,
official
got the
Olympic
torch
torch.
and the uniform. The uniform's under plastic. That's a bit. I'm bequeathing that to my sons. You know, like in 20 years' time, that torch might be worth a few bob. You know, is what I'm thinking.
Well, our baker said Martin has always carried the torch.
Hey, what a guy! What a guy!
So, right. Well, I've got 4 more questions I wanted to ask you. I hope you're not going anywhere, but yeah.
I'm fine, mate. I'm fine. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, the first thing is, you know, when I said that when I go to a gig, I always watch the drummers. I always see, because one thing that I really love about drummers is when they twirl.
Yeah.
When they do the twirling bit.
Yeah,
you never do that, do you? I mean, you
no,
don't do
can't do
that.
it. I can't do it. I haven't. I've got arthritis in my fingers, and I'm not dexterous, and I can't do it. I've tried it, and it just ends up on the floor.
Oh, right. Okay. What about pointing? Because that's another thing that drummers do. They like to point, so like point to
Yeah,
a
I do a bit
melody.
of point. I do a bit of pointing. Yeah, a bit of pointing.
Like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind
that's
of natural though. It's not. It's not. It's not planned. It's just I'll point when I feel the need to point. I will do. Yeah.
yeah, that's good. Well, so next question is, I did ask about. No, I asked you about the favorite match the band. What about drumming heroes? Do you have any drumming heroes?
So at the outset, when I was a boy, I mean, I was very much inspired by Keith Moon, even though I don't drum in any way like Keith Moon. I was inspired to take up the drums by Keith Moon, I think, and also around that time, then when the bands came in, obviously Stephen Morris, Martin
Ah,
Jackson, when he was with Magazine, was quite inspirational. Some of my mates were into and John Densmore out of the Doors. Because I
yeah,
just like
yeah.
this kind of he had a really lazy sort of style, I think, which was really nice. And I remember watching, like you come in late from the pub and you're having a bit of tea and toast, and you're not quite ready for going to bed, so you stick the telly on and just cruise the channels.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I remember this vividly. I must have been 18 or so. I came across like a jazz club thing that was on the telly, and I think it was the Dave Brubeck 5 or something, or 4 or whatever.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah.
And it was his drummer who's really famous and whose name I can't recall just this morning. He had glasses on, really quite a good looking guy. And I just watched him mesmerised. I think my toast was just sitting there in front of my mouth as I watched him sort of like do that sort of like that beautiful jazz kind of like, and it's kind of like it looks like he's making it up as he's going along, but actually it's really disciplined and beautiful. And that really inspired me as well, even though I can't play jazz drums to save my life. But so there's all these people who've inspired me along the way, and I've got to say, even now people re-inspire me. I mentioned Leanne, didn't I? And Selena with her energy and everything. Drummers now just like I'll watch them and I think to myself, that's why I do this, because it's it's that, isn't it? It's that. One of the
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
things about being a drummer, obviously, is although you can see yourself on video, you can never actually stand and watch yourself live, can you? So it's kind of like watching other drummers is the closest thing you can get to watching yourself live, which sounds terribly narcissistic, but it's about it's that wondering what it looks like.
Yeah. You got to watch the videos that I post on.
Yeah.
What about Rennie?
About what?
Rennie from the Stone Roses.
Yeah. Rennie from Stone Roses is fantastic, absolutely brilliant drummer. Yeah. He had a really good. I mean, he was another one who could make it look like he made it look like he's hardly trying. No effort at all, but just produced these beautiful rhythms, and he's a massive part of the Stone Roses is his drumming, isn't it?
Yeah. And do you sing?
No.
No. Okay.
I once sang. I think for a couple of gigs, I did a little bit of backing vocals.
Yeah.
I remember we did a cover of the REM's Superman, I Am Superman. And I did and it was like I am Superman. That was it. That was my one attempt. I'll be honest. I am a frustrated vocalist, I think, at heart. I think I think I would like to sing lead, because it's that thing, isn't it? It's that thing about performers, isn't it? And drummers are all frustrated performance artists who we get up there because we like the attention. We feel the fear, but we like the attention. I think that's what it is. And the thing is, whenever photographs of the band come out, who's the person you can't see in most of the photos? The drummer, because the bloody singer stood in front of him, isn't he, half the time? So that's a frustration as well.
And I think a lot of the stage setup, they don't have what they call a spotlight on the drummer, which can be a bit frustrating sometimes, because you want to see them.
Drummers should all be on a riser. We should all be on a riser, elevated above the rest of the group, which is our natural position to be, so people can see the drummer as well as they can see anybody else. Because let's face it, that's who people are watching.
That's actually what I want to see, the drummer and everything. But yeah, I forgot to ask you this earlier on that because you didn't have any drumming lessons, so you just taught yourself and things like that. Do you think that anyone can be a drummer?
If
Well,
you've
it's
got
got to be. It's a gift, isn't it?
no, I would say that if I can play the drums in a band and get away with it, anybody can play the drums in a band and get away with it. The only thing you need is a modicum of spatial awareness. It's that thing. It's a practical thing. You've got to be able to move your feet and hands at different points in different time in order to make the drums do what they do. So if you can't do the spatial awareness thing, then you're going to struggle. But otherwise, you can learn a few basic patterns, develop from there, get some mates together, bang up along at the back, and enjoy yourself. If you're playing drums in a band, you're a drummer. It doesn't matter technically how good you are. That's what you're doing. You're drumming.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, if you play the drums in a band, yeah, that's right. You're the drummer. That's
Yeah.
good. Have you ever had any disasters or any accidents when playing the drum?
Yes. So I was playing. One of them comes to mind. I was playing a gig. We were supporting the fall at Hull University. We were playing a song called Flotilla, which had quite a complex snare hi-hat beat. And I remember, and this is what I did this to myself. I remember thinking, if I drop my stick now, I'd be in real trouble, in terms of trying to get back into the rhythm. And as soon as I finished the thought, the stick came flying out of my hand. And the panic was, and I was scrabbling around trying to get the stick on it. I completely ruined the song. I've had cymbals collapse on me, so it hit a cymbal and the stand collapses and ends up on the floor. I've had bits and pieces of drums fall over, all sorts of things like that. But it's just it's rock and roll, and it's rock and roll. It's just you just get over, you get on with it. I think the biggest disaster. Not a disaster. That's not a disaster. One of the biggest disappointment was playing a gig in the Imperial in Cromer, back with the Sandmen back in the day. And when we went on stage, it was dry ice everywhere, and I could see a figure on a pillar next to us. And I thought, we started the song, we did the big opening, and we finished the song, and the smoke cleared, and there was no one in the room. We were playing to an empty room to the sound. No. And the figure that I saw by the column next to the stage was a full life-size figure of the character Predator from the film Predator. It's cardboard cut. Well, the Predator was watching us and nobody else. Well, stuff like that. I mean, I've got a million stories of, doing gigs and things. Oh, it's fantastic. I must write it all down sometime.
You should do. You should write your own book. I mean, Funky Sire's got a book out.
Yeah, brilliant as well. Brilliant.
Yeah, because one thing about drummers, especially from Manchester, it's not just about them. It's about Manchester as well, which is amazing. Especially if you write about what it was like, because you mentioned all those bands that were in the Manchester music scene at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, for someone who's into Manchester music or loves Manchester, that's just it's an amazing. It's like a fantastic book, and so God, all those things. Also, I wanted to ask, how many drumsticks do you need to have lying down? Because I've noticed that some will probably have like 3 or 4 extras.
I have the two in my hand and 2 on top of the bass drum. That's it.
And then that's it. Yeah.
I rarely break a stick, and I rarely lose a stick these days. So, the 2 are just there as a kind of like safety blanket as much as anything.
Yeah, and do you tune the drum kit, or is that already?
It's usually done, but yeah, I do. I'll usually retune the snare because in the time it's been lying in the bag, it'll need retuning, and I do tend to loosen it off a little bit, so the skin doesn't remain too stretched, as it were, too taut. Speaking of Manchester bands as well, 2 bands that I haven't mentioned that didn't, in my view, get the attention that they should have done. One was the New Fads.
Oh yeah.
Who I thought were an amazing band, and I can't for the life of me understand why they were never massive. And the other one was Dub Sex. Mark Hoyle's band,
Oh,
which
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah.
And again, I can't understand why. He's got a really brilliant book out as well
That's
recently.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I went to his book event, Mark
Yeah,
Hoyle's, and Kathy was there,
yeah,
and yeah, I think well they did some shows I think a few years ago,
yeah.
but
Oh,
unfortunately,
they had a modicum of success, but as I said, not the success I think they deserved. And King of the Slums as well. They were another band that deserved, I think, a lot
yeah,
more.
you're really part of it, isn't it? I mean, well, there's an amazing compilation done by Cherry Red Records, and it's all about the Manchester music. It's like 7 CDs
Yeah,
in one, yeah, in the box set, and all the bands from Manchester. No, they're not all from Manchester,
yeah,
but connected with the Manchester music scene.
yeah.
So,
Well, you
yeah,
get bands on the periphery, don't you? Like the Charlatans, who are really from Northwich, but
that's yeah, yeah.
they all got included in that Manchester sound thing, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah, and Bradford. I mean, Bradford, they're from Burnley, but they're also included in the Manchester. Because it's like what Peter Hook was saying the other day. I mean, there's not one particular genre about, what it is. It's not like just Manchester or anything. It's just Manchester music, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah,
it's different when it's a Manchester music. And
yeah,
yeah, Patrick Luke said that drummers from Manchester, Martin included, plays for the song,
yeah.
which is so important. So,
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely spot
yeah,
on. Absolutely.
yeah. Right. So this is my last question now, because I know we've been chatting for over an hour now. But so, like, last question is, what would be your advice to aspiring drummers or
Um,
musicians?
to aspiring, well, drummers, musicians, whatever. Get in a band. Just get in a band. Get some mates together. Get in a band. Start playing. There's nothing like playing with other musicians and getting started. And it can be a bit difficult. Can be a bit tricky. There's good rehearsal rooms knocking about, like Silver Lining, and where you can get along and you can, get some time in together. It's in terms of songs and getting your stuff together. It's practice, practice, practice. That's all it is. And
Yeah,
and don't give a monkeys about what anybody thinks of what you're doing. Don't care a jot about what anybody. Don't listen to anybody's opinions about what you're doing. Don't listen to anybody's advice about your style of music. You play what you feel, play what you love, and if people may or may not come to it, but there's nothing like getting your musical self out there and
yeah,
getting that release that only music can give you. Just go get a band together, play, have a gig somewhere, have a gig in a dump somewhere, some little club somewhere, and just get on there and just enjoy it and love it. The reality is, the first time you do a gig, you're absolutely nervous as hell, and you can hardly function. But the thing is that it's like anything. Once you've done it once, that's the worst time, and then after that, it gets easier and easier. And, I
yeah.
encourage anybody, pick up any instrument they can. You're not musical, become a drummer.
Aw. Financially, though, how is it nowadays? Because I've read in the past that in the old days, record companies will give you like a huge amount of money to create your music, and then that's it. But nowadays, you have to do it yourself, right? So is it
Most bands these days are DIY, and
Yeah,
we do everything ourselves, and most of the bands I know do everything themselves as well. Some people get deals. Don't reckon back in the day when the Sandman were chasing deals, you could get advances and stuff from record companies that were significant. But now, because everybody's got access to YouTube, everybody's got access to the internet. There are millions of bands out there putting stuff out. It's really hard to keep up with everything out there. Back in the day, you had to go out and buy a physical product in order to listen to another band. If you're lucky, you might hear them on the Peel show or whatever. But
yeah,
it's really hard to get radio play of any kind. So it's a really different game. I think there's a lot less money in it at the grassroots level than there used to be. There are far fewer venues, opportunities to play than there used to be. But you can still get out there and do it. Bands like ours, I mean, we don't do it to get paid. If you want to get paid and make money, now there's a good way of doing that. which is to get a tribute band going. If you're a decent tribute band, you can make really good money. And but as an originals, don't go anywhere expecting to get paid. Yeah, you'll get paid. They might give you a bit of petrol money, you know. But the most we've ever been paid for a gig, I think, is 150 quid. And
And the
quite
six
often,
of you have to sort like divide it to six.
yeah. Well, we don't. What we do is any money we make from gigs, we just put back into the band fund, and that's to pay for recording. So everything we make goes back into recording, basically.
Yeah.
And we pay. We you know, we self-finance our stuff in terms of, you know, rehearsal rooms and everything. But that's not why we do it. We do it because we love it.
Yeah. I think that's. I mean, of course, there must be some financial gain from it, but I think when musicians do it because they love music, then it will come. I think it will come. You know, the financial side of it will come someday. But you've got to love it first. You've got to and I really I admire bands who do it for love. You know, and
Yeah.
because they love playing and everything. Yeah. So good luck,
Thank
and
you. Thank you.
yeah. And I'm really excited to go and see Gdansk81 as well. Now that I've finally got to hear your music,
Brilliant.
which I really love. So thank you so much.
And thank you, Anne, because people like you doing things like this is what it's all about in terms of, you know, promoting music, helping people, you know, move along, getting that exposure. So keep doing what you're doing because it's great.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, it's for me. It's thank you so much to people like you, like drummers like yourself, who say yes to Ask the Drummer. I wouldn't be able to do that if they all said no. But thank you, and hope to see you again soon.
Brilliant.
So,
thank you, Anne. Lovely to see you.
Take care and see you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us live. And glad Patrick, Luke, and Al Baker, and of course, Aiden. Thank you very, very much for all your messages for Martin. Right, so it's absolutely amazing. So all of you who haven't heard of Gdansk81, I love that band name actually. It's you know, I like the way it sounds, Gdansk81. So do check them out. They're on all the social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, and all that. And especially for the Filipino new wavers, you'd really love them. You will love that kind of music, because this is like the music that you know, we were listening to when we were teenagers in the Philippines. So, you know, give them a try and check them out. We'll be back next week. And before I forget, a very, very happy birthday to Paul Cook. It's his birthday today, and I think I can't remember now. I think he's 69 years old or something. But yeah, happy birthday. Hopefully someday I'll get Paul Cook on Ask the Drummer as well. Fingers crossed. But yeah, I'll be back next Sunday. It's the Glasgow Pop Weekend, so I'll be in Glasgow on Friday and Saturday, but I'll be back here on Sunday, and I've got hopefully the 3 drummers from Chime School, but keep an eye out for the the Ask the Drummer Facebook page for the guest announcement post. Right, that's it for me for now. So thank you all so much. And as always, love music, love life, love drummers. Thank you so much, Martin Plant. He's so amazing. I do envy him being, you know, from here in Manchester. I wish I was already here at the time. But yeah, he's great. I love those stories. Hopefully, when I see him, I'm gonna ask him for some more Manchester stories as well. But enjoy the rest of the evening, and I'll see you all again next week. Bye for now. Bye.